You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. Now, the largest new media platform on the web and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith. Johnson.
On the AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, and streaming live on Ustream. This is AfterBuzz TV for How to Make It in America. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest How to Make It in America news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, picking up where the show leaves off and the buzz continues, it's AfterBuzz TV for How to Make It in America.
That is right. Don't you feel that energy? Welcome, everybody, to the conversation. We are clearly grinding tonight.
How to make it.
How to make it, how to dance, have a really good time on a Sunday night.
Over here?
Humberto, I love your dance skills. There you go.
I'm trying to keep up. She's amazing and I'm not.
That's right. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the conversation. I say it every week. This is a conversation about How to Make It in America, HBO's hit show, the after show right here on AfterBuzzTV.com. I always got to say thank you to our Ustream viewers and our iTunes listeners. It's always good when they take us on the road to go. I like that. My name is Ronnie Jr. I, of course, list this as my passion project because I watch How to Make It in America all day, every day. It is such an inspiring show. Our co-host, we have...
Spicy Mari, who was forced to make this the passion project as well.
Yeah.
I got tricked into falling in love with the show.
Although we didn't have to twist your arm too hard.
Yeah, it wasn't that hard. It wasn't that hard.
You know, because you move real fast, you do a lot of things, and this is like for anybody who's trying to do something. It could be making a, it doesn't even have to be entertainment. It could be, I want a cleaner store on the, on the corner store or something. It's one of those deals. Our social media strategist.
Strategist? Is that what I am now? Awesome. I love it. Jesse F. Daniels, I'm right here, and I'm How to Make It online.
There you go. So. Take care of all our online stuff. We have Humberto Guida. It's always funner to say it that way.
I like the way you pronounce it. I mean, you give it the whole Latin inflection.
That's right.
I usually just say Humberto. Humberto's my dad.
Okay,
I'm Humberto, so that's fine.
Needless to say, he's the crazy Cuban comedian, segment producer for such shows as American Latino TV, Latin Nation, interviewed people like Tito Ortiz and all kinds of great people.
The Ortizes.
All the
Victor
Ortizes.
Ortiz.
And then we have, you're a representative from that website that everyone knows about.
NicoleBitchy.com.
NicoleBitchy.com, yes.
Lauren Turner in the building, one of my beautiful friends as well.
Yeah, break that down what NicoleBitchy.com is, because a lot of people get it, but is it a blog site?
Yeah, NicoleBitchy.com is a celebrity urban blog site. It's probably the #1 blog site in the country in its demographic right now. And what I do is I'm a correspondent for her. So we go on the red carpets and we cover, we interview people, we do celebrities, all that stuff. NicoleBitchy.com, NECOLE Bitchy.com. So check it out. You'll see what I mean.
We have Fallon Mercedes in the building as well.
New LA girl.
Who's also a correspondent for NicoleBitchy.com.
Yeah, she's a former Boston reporter, correct?
Estonian in the house.
Okay, cool. Some of the folks around the AfterBuzz, know a thing or two about that. Well, let's dive right into the show. How to Make It in America. This is episode number 6.
Correct.
The name of the titled episode is...
I'm sorry, who's Yosi?
Yeah.
And we're going to find out who Yosi is. We start the episode getting hot and heavy. Hot and heavy. I mean, really, that's exactly what we see post. The last part of the last episode was so good. That's how we start off the show. A lot of sex right off the bat.
Yum.
Yeah.
Well, I gotta say one thing. Is it
cool
Gina
love.
Gershon or Gina Gershon?
Yeah.
She's sexy as all hell.
Do you know how old
She's
she
getting
is?
better looking the older she gets.
Yeah.
I looked on Wikipedia. She was born in 62. Do the math, ladies and
Yeah,
gentlemen.
that's yay.
She could
Wait,
be
Cougar.
Lynn's mama.
We need to interview her and get her remedy on how to stay youthful and
Yeah.
sexy.
Her show's going to be how to look good at 49 years old.
You know that a woman is sexy when both the guys and the girls agree that she is the sexiest person on the show.
She definitely is.
Right? Okay, cool.
And then she has a little playful line with him. Okay, I'll see you at the office.
Yeah.
So you're just like, we know this episode is
love
about
that.
to be very, very fun.
go down.
What does that mean?
Ben's getting interesting though.
He's
Ben's
very
finding
good
himself in
character.
interesting situations because in the beginning of the show last year, I wasn't sure if he was going to cut it as a character. You know, he seemed like a nice guy.
Yeah.
He seemed like he had a few things going for him. I'm a big Victor Rasuk fan, so there was nothing left, you know, for me to want there. But Ben is now shaping up to be, wow, he's putting himself in the position.
Well, his character is clearly different because last season he talked about, well, not even him, but Rachel talked about his insecurities and what was it? You could never be happy with me because I'm never happy.
Right.
So this season we get to see him be kind of cool, which is fun, and own being like a guy doing big things and, you know, nice looking women.
And
so
as he stated earlier, that I think is becoming more and more prevalent, he only goes after women he can't have.
you
But
did
those
kind
are-
of stick on that, yeah.
There's
And
something
what is
to
he doing
that.
now?
Well, don't most of the guys that chase you around, and I know there's a lot of guys that chase you around, okay, are the ones that can't have you, right?
What does that laugh mean?
Which are most guys, I can imagine.
It's true. I know her well enough to say,
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's hard to, you know, choose.
It's definitely
I'm just
definitely
playing, I'm just
something that
playing.
goes on
You're
day-to-day
always just
life.
playing.
Let's talk about
That's what he said.
Rachel.
Whoa.
Nice.
Let's talk about Rachel in bed, and this is the first time we see Rachel in bed where she's not, you know.
That tattoo was.
Well, that's later.
at the
That's
end.
Oh,
later.
am I getting ahead of myself? I always get ahead of myself.
Look, it was just a quick
Little far
clip,
ahead.
very very quick clip. She's in bed. We've always seen her in bed with the guy. This is the first time you just see the scene. She's kind of waking up. She feels fresh, mind you. This is after that really cool bike ride. I know Jesse and we love the essence of a cool night bike ride. And she was waking up basically just smiling like, yo, I'm living maybe a slightly different life. But she has to go to Biscuit, which obviously she doesn't want to do.
Yeah.
So I thought that was cool and a look into what we're going to see throughout the rest of the episode. Then we look at the St. Louis girls. You know, they obviously talking about how much fun they had last night. That Saturday night or whatever it was clearly a night.
Those blonde, I wasn't here for last week, so I don't know if you guys talked about those blonde girls, but
We did.
I've met those kind of, you know, like all of us, we're not Midwesterners here, except Jesse, are you?
Actually, I'm from
No.
Michigan. So.
Okay, well, but okay, we're not white natural blonde Midwesterners. None of us here, okay? And we all know that they have a tendency to be like, woo, the whole time. So those girls really knocked it out of the park, especially when
Well,
they
I think anytime you're new to New York City for the weekend, you're just going to go balls to the wall.
Yeah.
So
But
it has nothing to do with where they're
hit,
from.
They hit their type of character really
Yeah.
well. I mean, it's just I've been around those kind of girls. Can
Yeah.
I just leave it at that?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
fine.
I
I think we all have. We all have.
But right here at
Different than like the Mexican girls I hang around with. So
At the office, though, right here is where we get the famous line from the show, I'm sorry, who's Yosi? And that's where we
Yes.
all realize,
Right.
oh my God, who is Yosi, right?
Yeah.
And we find out that it's Nancy's husband.
Yeah.
And that's who's going to do the manufacturing for Chris to ship the 5,500 pieces of clothing.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I don't even know what to say
I think
about
it's a
that.
cool character to introduce to the show.
Yeah, I thought
Yeah.
that was a good spin that they made it her husband that the boys would have to be working with.
And I kind of always wonder, is she saying, oh, yeah, I'm professional, I could handle it. Obviously, that's later in the show, but she makes it like she's so cool with it. I don't think she's cool with it. And I'm thinking he dips out on other women, too. I think they have an open relationship, even if she says no. I mean,
Well,
clearly.
even if they don't have an open relationship, if they have a real relationship, there's obviously something lacking there. But like someone like Gina's character, she feels like she can handle these kind of things. And listen, no one's ever as cool as they think they are, even if they're a mature, hot
It's like the
cougar like
shield
Gina
right
Gershon.
on the
So
top,
both
yeah.
of them, they fall into their own traps the whole time. I thought it was cool. I like Yoshi. He's funny.
No, he's definitely a cool character. We got another classic Ben and Cam
You love
scene.
those. I know.
I
I
do.
noticed that. I'm like, Ronnie's going to talk about this.
Because I think they're the funnest scene because
But
they're kind of like in the streets, New York City, hustle and bustle, and that gives them like the mentality of, you know, making these decisions. Do we do this? Do we do that? In that conversation, they're talking about orders, of course, and then you know, Yosi, the name comes up, and that's when Ben's like, oh yeah, I banged. We'll say I banged Nancy. So Cam totally does not believe it right off the top. Or didn't even pay attention, really, for the most part.
he said it was just thought it was a joke.
And
Good one. Good
he
joke.
thinks that Ben is joking, but Ben's character doesn't have too many jokes throughout.
No, he doesn't. He's not sarcastic.
He's not like a playful person. He doesn't make me laugh.
Right. But you know what the
He's not
funny
like
thing is?
Humberto.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
He's
Jesse.
not a Cuban comedian.
Yeah,
no.
but you know what's funny is that Cam thinks that Nancy's out of Ben's league. That's why he
Yeah,
doesn't
that's
figure that he
right,
would have gotten with her.
exactly.
You know, so but Ben's kind of like a sleeper that way. You know, I think he's the kind of guy that maybe girls don't give a lot of a chance until that one night when they realize, oh man, he's cute and he has something going for him. I'm gonna give him a shot one night and one morning.
Yeah.
So
You
okay.
said what, Fallon?
Yeah, Ben's gorgeous. Ben.
Whoa.
Sorry,
Let me get my
there's
Ben
something-
on.
He looks like your type, Lauren.
He is my type.
It's funny,
Totally
like,
looks like your type.
there has been a handful of women who, because you know, when we talk about Entourage and the comparisons, Adrienne Grenier, I'm not sure if I said the last name
Yeah, you
correctly,
said it. Grenier.
no one really,
Grenier.
females, no one really liked him in that sex symbol way. Now this is
Because his character was more not real.
Well, real quick, this is kind of like, you know, people are calling it the next Entourage. Totally not, but of course the creators and producers are behind it. But my point is, I think maybe Brian Greenberg, you ladies could say, he has that for the audience?
Swag to him. Like,
swag.
I think it's his shirts, because
Yeah,
Why? Okay, so I'm pulling it off?
Yeah.
You're
You
pulling
could
it
have been
off.
his stand-in.
He's
I'm the
cute.
Season
Cuban
1,
Ben then.
episode 3.
Ben's definitely attractive, but someone like me, I kind of would fall for a Cam more though, because
More
he's
spice.
I need
More
more
spice.
You need
spice. I
flavor.
need more
You need flavor.
Like I need somebody who's gonna like.
Can
you
I just
know,
make an
throw me against
assumption?
the wall.
Can I just make an assumption? I think that you would chew Ben up and spit him out.
Oh,
Yeah,
I think I
she
would.
would.
As well.
She would.
I think I would eat him alive.
I'm always looking for a woman that can eat me up and spit me out. So I'm just throwing that out there.
I thought one great comment from Ben was that he was like, "Oh, the Upper West Side is my motherland." Like I thought it was cool to show that like he's Jewish, but he's this is our generation where we're not really maybe that connected with our history and our races.
And that can go for a lot of cultures. I mean, being Hispanic, my dad's from Cuba, and but he calls me a lot in between cultures, and it's like, well, that's because I'm American, Dad. I'm Cuban American.
How to make it America?
Can I tell you who I relate to most on the show?
I think a lot of people relate to her.
Well,
Right?
because it's funny because I usually relate to like a male
Rachel.
character, but I found
Rachel.
myself relating to Rachel because I have, I've written for magazines before. I've written for a lifestyle magazine that wasn't really my cup of tea. I won't name the name, but
Biscuit, was it?
well, no, it was a biscuit type of
You
magazine.
did work
It
for
was-
Biscuit.
it
You
was-
told me that earlier.
Oh, I reported for Us Weekly for like 6 months, and it wasn't, I'm into like, the gossipy stuff, but it was a little bit not really the world that I wanted to be in, and I related to her being in that office, trying to be fake with a boss and pretending you care about things that they care about, and wanting to say, no,
We
this is a cool
all
story,
can
and then being
relate
like,
to
And
that.
having to accept something that you don't want to accept just
Right.
to keep your job because you see
Keep your
like
job,
you
or-
see like your future, but you're like, I'm almost there. I have to accept it.
Having to
I
make
have to
it.
compromise. I have to, I just had sex with this, girl,
That's
and
a heck of a
now I'm
compromise.
gonna hang out with, her husband, and he's gonna provide money for my, you know what I mean? Like, think all the compromises that we've had to
It's
make.
called
to
faking
try to
it
make
till
in
you make
America.
it in
Yeah,
America.
I definitely want to talk more about that, Rachel, because Rachel is a character that a lot of people are
Rachel.
diving into. But well, you were talking about sex a second ago. Well, Debbie, she's not having the sex right now, but her daughter, we go to Debbie's house.
Introduces Tiffany.
Nilda brings over the girl to the house. What was the girl's name?
Tiffany, yeah.
So
Tiffany.
who tried Luis Guzman's character the week before, right on the street.
Right. She's trying to punk him.
So we don't know anything about Tiffany. She's obviously a rougher
She
girl.
needs to stay.
But what did you guys think about Nilda bringing her over? I mean, this is all so new, and all of a sudden she's like forcing her into the house.
Very 21st century. Can I get like personally opening? Can I open
Yes,
up? Personal?
go ahead.
My
AfterBuzz,
sister, who
baby.
doesn't mind, who lives in New York,
Yeah.
she's very cool. She's
Yeah.
an up and coming advertising executive. She was a high school track and field champion. She's
Right.
a lesbian, and I went through this in my family
Yeah.
myself. Luckily, I had very open minded parents, but I remember the time that she kind of like introduced her girlfriend to the family, and it takes a lot of huevos, cojones, can I say, for a
That
girl
means
or a
balls.
guy, a
Yeah.
girl or a guy to bring, if they happen to be gay, to basically bring, look, this is the kind of person that I'm in love with, and you're gonna have to deal with it. So I
Yeah.
like that.
But
that
the way she
development.
did it, though, like, how do you feel about that?
Well, she's young, so she's gonna do it in an immature way.
So
you
can
know?
she come stay over?
And it's a TV show, so you got to do everything a lot quicker. On the IMDb page for How to Make It in America, there were a lot of comments about oh, is this going to set the show not back, but like will it be a hot topic, the gay issue or whatever. And a lot of people writing in the board saying this is something that's going on day to day.
realistic.
So
It is.
to compromise, the show to go back, because it was kind of insensitive. What they were attacking was Debbie's lack of understanding. Like you said, your parents, they were kind of getting on Debbie's lack of understanding.
But that's a
it's-
cultural thing. You
and
know
it-
how
That's what I was
Hispanics
gonna say.
can
Right.
be. That
The
they're
lack
very.
of culture.
If they have a problem with it, I mean, you're Hispanic too, right?
It's not even a cultural thing. It's a human thing.
Mm-hmm.
You don't. You're prejudiced against what you don't understand.
That's why it's so honest that Debbie is like super, close-minded at the moment. So hopefully, maybe by the end of the season or season 3, that's where we'll go.
But
and
in that
learn
same
other
scene,
stuff.
we also see Renee getting a little bit more hot-headed than he's been
Yeah.
previously on the cell phone. He even does a little, "Excuse me, I'm sorry," trying to be all nice about it. But then the anti-Jamaican, the dreads they call them, they spilled over all the Rasta Monsta at some of the stores.
Right.
I'm a big fan of Luis Guzman, and I like the way he's trying to balance like the hot-headed crook that he used to be, and the guy he's trying to become to win Debbie and stay out of trouble, and that like he's riding this fence and he's gonna fall one way or the other.
I said last week, I said, I don't, I love How to Make It in America so much. I don't want a spin-off, but if there was a spin-off, I want Louis Guzman's character, Renee, and Debbie, and that whole storyline, because it is so fun to watch,
Well, you mentioned before, and I'm sure you guys have talked about it before, but people are comparing the show to Entourage. It's made by the people of Entourage.
Yeah.
It's one of those male fantasy kind of shows. But the reason this show, I think, is turning out to be better than Entourage.
Thank you. It sure is better.
I love it. It's realer. I mean,
everybody.
Entourage was a dream. This is at least a little bit
what we
of
all
like
do,
what we have
yeah.
to deal with in reality, and these guys are fighting for it.
Yes.
And not already at the top of the mountain trying to stay at the top of the mountain. They're trying to get to the top of the mountain.
And it'll show success. They'll get a little bit of success, but they'll get it pulled away from them. You know, these certain choices and decisions. It's the most honest show I've seen, you know, as far as like that hustle, ambition. Then we go to Rachel, who is totally enjoying everything she's doing, the bike riding, you know, just hanging out in Brooklyn, like a new life for her. So she goes back to Stuffy Biscuit, you know, meeting, and she's talking to her boss named Robin.
And what did I say? That she was going to try to bring, you know, his little garden pickle business to Biscuit. And what did she do? She tried to bring his pickle to her biscuit.
Your predictions.
Marty calls it again.
You are spicy. She said she was spicy before the show, and she's spicy.
She's like 6 for 6 with predictions.
What about my predictions of her predictions?
Yeah,
can I get some credit to that?
Predictions we have.
All right, thank you.
Okay, so interesting little situation there. Robin like shuts the idea down and says, "Oh, go right for this, yada yada yada." So Rachel clearly is continuing to hate her situation right there at Biscuit. How long will she be there? You know, that's the question right now.
Yeah, well, you know, we can all kind of like relate to that situation where we have a vision, but the people who are allowing us to do what we want to do for a living just don't want to see it that way, and that's why I'm finding myself relating to Rachel.
Right. I think you as a person have to kind of figure it out and say, okay, maybe this is not where I want to be, but will it push me to the next level?
Exactly.
I know the older I get, I mean, I make decisions like that where I'm like, okay, you know, I will sacrifice more. I think one of the best things about, I guess what I would say is like if I was 18 years old and I had all the success I wanted, I want a late night TV show, right? Let's say I got that right at 19, 20. Would have been great. Would have probably had a drug problem. But the thing is, now that I'm of a certain age.
Ronnie Jr.
29. Ronnie, you're 29.
Now that I'm not Ronnie Jr., I'm old now. But anyways, my point is, all that struggle, it's honestly a beautiful thing. And I mean,
it's
I
what
could go
builds
on
character, and that's the thing about the show. It shows guys that are building their character instead of Entourage, where we kind of start off with, hey, they got everything just handed to them, including the guy, his friends who just mooch off the guy, which was the beginning of the show. This show, and what I like about Yosi and Luis Guzman is that they are adding these kind of like Ari and drama characters that I do like. I like those over-the-top guys that are just silly and ridiculous, and this show has that too.
Right.
So
I love that everybody on the show cannot stand who they're working for or their boss, because that is so relatable.
Like everybody,
that you at one point in your life have worked for someone that you didn't respect, but you had to smile and fake it till you make it in America.
That's how you make it in America.
I totally think that, I know, but I'm just going back to like the older I get, the more I'm willing to do that. And I struggle, like, this is why I feel like the show connects to me, because I feel like, am I selling myself short? Like, should I be more talkative like I used to be when I was young? But when you have something, when you're so close, and that's what Ben and them do, they're so close, they're like, we will take what we have to take to get there. So anyways, they meet Yosi for the first time. Interesting. I loved where they were, the location. That looked like super cool. I wanted to be there. Yoshi's like, oh, who's mother effing Ben? And so you're kind of thinking, what are you thinking, Fallon? You're kind of thinking he knows?
No. I think
he doesn't
knows,
know.
But it seems like they have an open relationship. So he's thinking, you know what? I might really get something from this kid because of his clothing line. And so maybe he's just playing it up like everybody else. They're all faking it.
Well, so he's like, go ahead.
I didn't think so.
Wait. So you guys, you're saying that maybe Yoshi's like, all right, go ahead and screw my wife, but I'm gonna make a lot of money off your, clothing line, and
which I don't think is in the situation in this situation. But what you just said, I totally think that does happen too.
Eventually, and it happens.
Gonna happen.
But I think it's gonna happen.
Yoshi seems shallow enough to go ahead and deal with it.
Yeah, he seems. I don't know about.
I don't think he knows.
When
I
you're
think they have a
married to
hush relationship. When you have a lot of power like that, I think it's a hush relationship. You do your thing. Don't let me find out about it. I think she's gonna confess, and then they're gonna wind up losing this like little deal right here.
That could happen.
But doesn't she seem like she has a lot more, too much depth to be with a guy like Yoshi?
No.
They're a decent fit.
She's a power player. At some point, he helped her career out.
Yeah. Just a small little correction. Yosi.
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 I'm a sucker for Eastern Europeans, by the way.
I'm sorry. Who's Yosi?
Thank you.
Yeah.
I like Yoshi better, but Yosi's fine. We'll go ahead with the factual stuff.
We're changing people's names here. He waves the $10,000 checks in front of them, so that's obviously
that was nice.
A moment. I always wonder when that happens. This is just my question. Ben, comes from a certain family, and Cam comes from another type of family. I always wonder, they're in the same predicament where they're like, oh, we do we do this? Do we not? But Cam needs the money more. Right. I mean, it's safe to say that.
He understands what it's like to need money, where Ben understands that there's always a safety.
Well, in season 1, they needed money, and Cam suggests, go ask your parents, and they obviously looked like they lived in a nice home and, comfortable living. So I always wonder if at one point in the show, and I think we'll see it, everything, prediction-wise, I wonder if at one point we'll see, like, Cam being a little more just having to grab that money. Because he has to.
Well, he's already doing it, don't you think?
I think he's doing it too. But the only reason he's cautious about the money is because of his relationship with Nancy. I think he would be handling it differently if he wasn't sleeping with Nancy. That's the only reason he has hesitation right now.
Sex always
complicates Because he's nervous it's going to blow up in his
face. We go to Rachel being on the train. She's riding the train. She's obviously about to go to work, going to go do the biscuit thing. And she just says F it and goes, I guess.
That was my scene right there, man. I ride the metro, and there's so many times where you just think, if I just don't get on this right now, I'll be good. So what is she doing?
Is she writing a story behind the
CEO's
back?
She's
the pickle guys.
Yeah. She's going to write the story and basically show her, look, this is what you said no to when you wouldn't let me finish my idea, and look what a great idea.
I think she's gonna get fired. I don't think it's gonna work.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I hate to be a realist.
She's not gonna get fired. She's gonna quit. She's gonna tell her boss, yeah, she has to for the show. The show has to allow her that kind of power.
Yeah. I like that. I like that though. What you said, she's gonna write it behind the back and hope that it gets looked at in a good way.
Right.
We don't know. Maybe Robin will be like, "Wow, I had no idea." Right. Whatever. And sometimes you do have to do that. You have to do things where the boss will say, this is not the right situation.
That's what Ben and Cam did with the 2 Midwestern girls. They went behind their back.
Yeah, I mean, what is it? You ask for forgiveness, not ask for what's the
You
slogan?
don't ask for permission, you ask for forgiveness.
Permission.
Permission.
Yeah.
Don't ask for permission now. Beg for forgiveness later.
I have never asked for permission.
Don't ask for permission now. Beg for forgiveness later.
Yeah, I like that.
It's sort
That's the motto I live by.
I've been living by that motto my whole life. I didn't even realize it.
Yeah.
It sort of plays out in this show quite a bit, actually. Okay, Ben and Cam, they're back on the streets. I love those scenes, because boom, 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 one meeting to the next. If we were in LA, we'd have to be in our cars, we'd be in traffic.
You love the walk and talks, don't you?
Absolutely. Yes, I do. I'm obsessed with New York City for sure, and I hate driving a car. Right. I'm the worst driver, too, so that's probably one of the reasons. Anyone who gets in my car, they're like, God, do you pay attention to the road, or do you just talk the whole time?
Anyways, the line that I love is when Cam says, yo, Ben, the one time you decide to while out is like... and you do our boss.
Yeah.
That's the thing about Ben. Ben cannot wild out of the box. He needs to have the situation fall on his lap for him to be like, okay, I'm gonna wild out, but it's
controlled.
Yeah, it's a controlled environment. It's calculated, right?
As we were watching the show at the end, you were talking about Cam. You were like, well, not Cam necessarily, but you agreed with his comment, like, oh, it is such a bad move.
It's a horrible move for you to sleep with the person who holds your future in their hands. And
he wants her to hold something else in her hands.
I know, but he's thinking with the wrong head.
Is that too saucy for AfterBuzz? I didn't even curse. Go ahead.
No pun intended. But I think it's a horrible move. I think when you mix business with pleasure, and obviously 2 people are getting pleased in this situation, it's gonna mess up things. And in the previews for the next episode, it looks as if she's trying to get rid of Cam, like I said.
Yeah, no, that's gonna happen. It's gonna divide, just like a record, company has a group of 6. Oh well, we only want Justin Timberlake.
Right.
Sorry, NSYNC. It happens all the time.
Exactly.
Then we get a Rasta Monsta scene. Can you kind of break down what was happening on the scene, Jess?
Oh, it was weird because the boss of the Jamaican rights group meets with Renee and talks about the insensitivities to the Jamaican people with each sale of Rasta Monsta. And it's just like Renee is, getting a little hot-headed again, and he wants to, just you see that he wants to grab him by the throat, but he starts off nice, and then later, we get to the line where he's like, next time it's gonna be a funeral, not a sit down.
That's my favorite line right there.
I really love when he pulled out the. This is gonna get hectic for Cam when he pulls out that.
When Ben pulled out of what?
When the Jamaican
trying
guy
to make a joke didn't really work.
When and that's even saucier than what I said before.
Hey, it was pretty good.
When
I missed it.
What's saucier? You're missing it. It's gravier. When the Jamaican rights guy pulled out the weed
What was
spray.
his name? Do we know his name?
We'll just call him the Jamaican rights guy till next week. Next week we'll get his name because he's gonna be a regular character. But he pulls out that weed spray that we know Domingo has been selling from the van that Cam has been driving. So now Cam is gonna get himself into some trouble. And last year we realized that Renee, I keep on saying Luis Guzman. He means business, even if it's his own family. So I that's a good tension to cloud the show. You know,
I love it that like he just didn't back down, even though he pulled it out. He was like, "Oh yeah, like really? Okay, next time we'll be at a funeral." I like that power and that confidence that he has. That he's not scared to back down.
Yeah, it was shocking.
You like that?
Gangsta.
You like that by Renee?
I love it.
Hey, listen, with that face, you gotta have some gangsta ass confidence,
Yeah.
all right?
Oh yeah.
And
easily.
he's like 4'11" too.
I know, exactly.
We then go to
Wait,
Ben.
well, I just want to say one
Yes.
joke. Luis Guzman actually won 2005 the world's ugliest dog contest.
What?
No.
Okay,
that was
I'm
no.
joking. I even said before I said it. I want to say a joke. Not ugliest person, but you know how they have the ugliest dog with the Chihuahua?
Yes.
Okay, he won that in 2005.
Moving to
Excellent.
Capo's office, Ronnie.
I'll try.
Now we're in Capo's office after all that.
Okay.
And they're all talking. They're talking about the terms and conditions. Everything looks good. Capo's assuring them because obviously, like Ben and Cam don't necessarily know what's legit and what's not. Capo's like, these are good. This is good. You know, work with Yosi. While that's happening, the FBI comes in and sort of pushes what we kind of knew was going to happen from a couple episodes again. Yeah. So,
which is that Cap is involved with inside trading stuff.
Bad, yeah.
That's cool because that kind of ties in topical stuff. We all know that Wall Street and you know, what was the Ponzi guy that went down? You know, the really, come on, you know what I'm talking about. Madoff, yeah, Bernie Madoff. So all that kind of stuff has been in the news the past few years with Wall Street,
white collar crimes,
right? And to have all that go down, the show's really mixing in a lot of elements into the show.
Everything's connecting and tying in.
I thought it was super cute that they wanted to take him to lunch.
Oh, because that's the only way they could like pay him for his advice.
I thought that was cute.
That's
it was
a good feeling,
it was like
though.
taking care of your friend. Like, we know you're in a bad position. You took care of us. Let us take care of you now. Unfortunately, he didn't get to reap the benefits because the FBI was taking him away, and he tried to run from the FBI.
That was funny.
But that was
hilarious.
Tackled him to the ground.
Right.
Like,
I'm sure we were all thinking, what are you doing?
Yeah.
That doesn't work.
You're not going to run away from the FBI.
And I love it how Cam was like, he's going to get out tonight. What are you talking about?
And he's like, you
never
never
did.
Cam doesn't know what happened.
Cam has no idea what that's like.
Such innocence to him.
Yes.
Like,
you never knew nobody.
Money. We gotta cash in
He's
our
like,
checks.
I guess we don't know.
Yeah, I do like
clueless.
the meeting of two. I mean, Ben and Cam, and I guess I'm seeing this more as I watch the show. It's like you said, it's really the meeting of two different worlds, and that's a really cool aspect of their friendship. That you got like the white kid that comes from an upper class background, you got the Latin kid that comes from a middle class, lower class background, and they're getting together to make this dream happen.
Well said.
Real quick, let's go. Rachel, she goes back to Bushwick. She talks about doing the Biscuit interview. He's kind of not into it, but he continues to bring the guy from I believe his name is Tim. I keep wanting to double check that from the Neanderthals. He keeps bringing her in with all these like elements that she's never really done.
But wants to do.
Yeah, and so she ends up with he gets a tattoo first, and she gets one as well.
What a great I gotta say, that's one of the sexiest things. Well, look, you know what? The tattoo.
Very sexy tattoo.
The tattoo sucked. I'm not talking about the tattoo. I'm talking about where the tattoo was and how she showed it. That's what I'm talking about. I didn't even notice the tattoo. I didn't even.
Oh yeah, no one knows what it was. No one cared.
Even notice what the tattoo was.
It was the fact that she had to go
pull
it down.
Yeah.
What did the pancakes mean? Did I miss that?
Was it pancakes? I didn't even notice.
It could have been a smiley
face. That's ridiculous.
You're
right. You're absolutely right. That's
with
ridiculous.
Syrup dripping on down.
That's ridiculous.
I like how Monty says it.
What did that represent? That represented something.
We're not wondering.
When they were writing that.
Representing nothing.
When the writers were writing that, there's a hidden message behind it.
Somebody has a pancake tattoo on the show. One of the writers has a pancake tattoo.
What do you think it is?
I don't know. It has something deeper, and they're not telling us. I don't know if it's like pancakes and food, and maybe because she's working for Biscuit.
Well, I'm sure if you go to online, all the posts, I'm sure you'll find people with the conspiracy on that.
She's rebelling from the Biscuit. She wants to be pink.
Nice. Good call.
That's good.
But I will say this, Jesse, you might have a point because Leverage makes this show, and I got to interview Adrian Grenier, like the second season of Entourage, and I met some of the producers, and they do put in like inside jokes inside the show. Like for instance, there was the first season of Entourage. Adrian is talking about this girl named Sarah Lum. Sarah Lum is one of the managers of the show, so they put in
everything's
names.
tied in. Yeah,
sometimes they put in random names, and it's the name of a friend or a producer on the show, or
I said last week, St. Louis. That's where Brian Greenberg's from. Okay, moving quick. We're gonna jump into the rest of this recap. We've got Ben and Nancy. They're at the bar. Starts with light social talk, but then obviously they talk about how it wasn't really a deep hookup. That's what she says, but we don't believe her. Later on in the episode, we find out that's not the truth anyway.
Yep.
Renee arrives at that event where Wilfredo's ready to go ahead and do a skateboard thing, but that's when they basically see all the protesters against.
I like the white kids in dreads. Like, hey, wait, those kids aren't even Jamaican.
Dreadlocks are fun. I wore dreads for Halloween.
You should have been protested, bro.
I should have not. Rachel, no, I was a cow with dreadlocks. Made no sense at all. But anyways,
Wait, what?
You have to look it up on YouTube. Anyways, Rachel shows Domingo the tattoo. They're so like free as far as their relationship, at least Domingo is. And then all of a sudden it became kind of like him asking questions. We don't see that from Domingo ever.
I loved it. He became so vulnerable, and she's just like, "This is just fun." What he was like, "Oh yeah." It's
so
just
you're
fun.
one of those
It's not
girls.
serious.
Is that it? You're one of those girls. I'm sitting here like, "Oh, is this relationship what relationship?"
Yeah, it was good because he came
awesome.
out of his cool a little bit. He's very cool, and he was kind of like wondering what
But
was
I
the
think
deal.
he brought up the topic of, are we only sleeping together because of Ben? I think that's what he finally touched upon and was trying to get out of her, because she brings up Ben any opportunity that she can. Do you think Ben's going to be mad that I'm writing
You guys
about
have
this?
said that on the last couple after shows that like, oh, she does tie into anything that has to do with Ben.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't think of it originally, but you guys are onto
Pancakes are
something.
probably Ben's favorite food.
Yeah, we're gonna find out. But one thing about that Rachel Domingo thing, for her, he's just this out of the way, kind of out of the ordinary fling that she, on top of these other things that she wants to try out. Whereas for him, his life isn't built around serious things. He's a pot dealer. He walks dogs. So she's the most serious thing that he's ever had come into his life. So they're looking at their, relationship or lack thereof from completely different perspectives. And he's gonna get hurt at the end, and she's gonna be able to, fill a bucket list item.
Two people that are sort of different worlds melting together is Lulu and Cam. Cam comes from one situation. Lulu.
That's a cool. Yeah.
Cam calls her out saying, "Oh, well, your dad could pay for anything for your career." She kind of like dogs him, but then we find out she's like, "Yeah, he has helped me."
Right.
To me, I was thinking, I assume they're gonna have a hot sex scene, in there. But at the same time, it's like you just kind of think, in my mind, are they gonna be as in tune because they're so different? Do we see them going for the long run? I kind of, after watching that part, I was like, nah,
They do
it's
come
gonna be
from
hot.
different
and that's
worlds.
it.
I do want to know what they have in common and what's their attraction to one another.
I actually
they
see
could
Rachel
grow
and Domingo. Like, I see that lasting longer than this Cam.
No.
I was into Lulu and
I do.
Cam so
I
They're both
seriously
lost.
do.
I was into Lulu and Cam so much, and then this last part of that episode made me think,
Yeah,
it's about to be over.
I'm like,
it's
something's
about
happening
to
here.
be done.
Something's gonna be.
Lulu just wants to piss off her millionaire father.
Their dad's not
because
even
the
mad.
dad's with it.
I know. I just wanted to say that.
I think Lulu's like experimenting.
I think Lulu seems like she's always experimenting.
She's like eclectic.
I
think
love-
this is like something to add
I
to her
love
roster.
Lulu's line where he was trying to take her out. I've said this before. Oh, I'll take you to this, club or whatever. Oh, kind of burned on the club scene since I was 15. You've heard those girls millions of times. So she's one of them, and she plays the role so good too.
I just thought it was
does
cool
play
that she
well.
mentioned Zoo York. The writers just seem to slip
and
it
we
in.
just said that they
Yes.
are the
Speaking
I
of-
bet
designer.
I bet you the guys behind Zoo York are like, ugh.
No, Zoo York. You were
They're-
last week.
You
they're
didn't
the-
watch the last
Spicy,
Watched the last
AfterBuzz.
episode.
Spicy Muddy News said that they are the
the
creators behind
consultants
Chris.
for all of the wardrobe.
okay,
Yeah.
so they said, you know what, go ahead and
The
make
show
fun of us
ties-
because we are half off at Marshalls and Ross.
The show ties into
Yeah,
so
they made fun of themselves. I
It
thought that was
ties
funny.
into so much. I can't wait for them to tie into the AfterBuzz. How to
probably
make it
gonna-
a recap show.
They're probably gonna
Anyways,
sell Zoo York off.
let's real quick talk about the boat party. Nancy, of course, still flirting with Ben a little bit, but making it like it's nothing. They got a nice moment.
He's flirting with her too.
Yeah,
I thought
definitely.
that yacht was a little glimpse of an entourage-esque.
That was very,
Yes,
it was
very
A little bit, you're right.
It was a little top shelf for the show.
Over the
I
top.
thought that was it's a little beyond. I mean,
But come on, you guys.
fashion people
We're all
that
trying to
much
make it, and you've never had those moments in
Oh,
life
we
where you
have.
get that one taste of like.
Okay.
All the
Yeah.
time,
Real
yacht.
real quick,
Yeah.
because we
Yeah.
gotta get to commercial in a second. But I would compare it to like. There's that term, I don't really want to use it, but there's a term Hollywood. You've heard that sometimes. And it is like a level of you're not really doing what you're not really there, but man, you will find yourself at a party in the Hollywood Hills and you're trying to find, and that's, I didn't take it as, oh, they're all of a sudden in that type
that
of lifestyle.
circle, yeah.
I took it as they're just getting up in there.
We
yeah.
call that
Well,
networking.
the show has to be flashy. Yeah, the show has to be flashy at some point, so.
And then Pharrell on there, didn't
Yeah, what was
Yeah, Pharrell.
I like Pharrell being on the show because he's a huge mogul with his own clothing line.
Oh,
he just
yeah.
launched liqueur, I believe, as well.
It's cream
You talked to him,
liqueur.
huh?
Yeah,
Okay, we'll
yeah.
talk about that in a second. Let's go to commercial, but real quick, the last part of it is Yosi talking with Cam. I like this line. When you're young, you have ideas
And no money.
and no money.
No money.
And when you're old, you have money
And
and
no
no ideas.
ideas.
So awesome.
That's
Let's
a
go to
great quote.
commercial. We have so much more to talk about. AfterBuzz Show, the recap right here on
The biggest new
AfterBuzzTV.com.
media platform on the web just got bigger. More bandwidth, smoother streaming, lightning fast download.
Don't get technical with me.
AfterBuzz TV is making the jump to hyperspace. Join the fun at your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Look at the size of that thing.
AfterBuzz TV.
Okay, thank you. AfterBuzzTV.com, Ronnie Jr., Spicy Marty, Jesse, and we have some great guests talking about this awesome show, How to Make It in America, HBO. We real quickly wanted to say thank you. We appreciate everyone who's been on the Twitter game with us lately. They've been tweeting AfterBuzz TV. They've been tweeting about the show. We have some of our past guests. I think Azure Day is watching the show now. Azure D is watching the show now.
Like
Anyways, everything's going really good, and we're building so much great momentum for this and all the great AfterBuzz TV shows. But let's talk about that last scene. We start with sex and we end with spicy. We just end with your world.
Yes, they were getting it on.
The sex at the end was better than the sex in the
I
beginning.
thought that was a perfect example of how it's really hard to have sex with only
It was really
a person
hard.
once.
No.
You
My jokes
kind
are
of
so bad
always
today.
go back for more.
Because the second time is always better than the first.
Right. You always got to get another sample to make sure.
This was just the second time they hooked up, or was it the third?
I mean, morning doesn't count if you're already still in the bed.
Yeah, that's like 1A.
That's
like
one. That's like
A1B.
one and a half.
Yeah, exactly.
This was like the second real hookup.
But the second time, you're right. I mean, if we're gonna go off on a tangent, just talk about sex. The second time is always better because the first time, and well, especially for a guy, you're just you're looking to like hit a home run, and so. But the second time you've been there, you've been at the plate before. You're ready. You know how the pitch is gonna come in. You know it's gonna be outside or inside. You know it's gonna be lower.
How does that massage feel while you're talking?
She's actually rubbing my back, and I'm feeling really good right now.
This is great.
So.
This is great.
Whoa. Okay. So previews.
That was a confessional.
Previews for the next. We'll do predictions in just a second. But do you have some entertainment news?
I do.
And another profile for one of the...
Yes, we do.
AfterBuzz TV News.
That's you, Mari.
That's moi, Spicy Marty. So Brian Greenberg, who's usually pretty busy with his music career, and him and Victor Rasuk,
Who plays Cam.
who plays Cam, one of my favorite characters, went and checked out Wildcard Gym in support of Manny. Help me pronounce his last name.
Pacquiao.
How do you say it?
Pacquiao.
Pac-Man, yes.
Okay.
He's fighting in a couple weeks.
The 12th, I think.
So they went to go support him. And last week we talked about mofongo and we were making fun trying to figure out what mofongo was. I had to let you guys know that it was a Puerto Rican dish. But we summed up that episode with the spicy cab scene at the end. And that song, which brought a lot of heat, was from M83. And the song was called Midnight City.
Yes.
And so that can be found on M83's current release, Hurry Up, We're Dreaming. And the song was not only the How to Make It in America mixtape, but also is now heard on the newest Victoria's Secret commercial.
Yeah.
I love that song.
I
That's a
love
good
that
track.
always.
That is a
song
great
was so-
song. Let me tell you something. That I'm watching that Victoria's Secret commercial. I'm like, okay, the girls are hot, but the song is hot.
Yes,
I like
sir.
that song.
Well, I think he's actually performing this, if you're in
Wednesday.
Los Angeles area. Oh, this is the
There it
song.
is.
Feel that.
Wings, looks
And
put
that's
wings behind
mofongo.
it.
How do you guys not feel that? Anyways, this group right here, M83, is going to be performing on Wednesday
night.
November 9th at the Music Box Theater in Hollywood.
It's like the sickest song
And the
I've
tickets
heard.
are sold out, though. I went online to get some. I was like, no.
What is it about this song that works so
Because
well?
it sounds urban,
love
it sounds,
this.
but it's classy at the same time.
And I like this song.
Foster the people, maybe?
Obviously, I like this song prior to the sex scene, but now every time you hear it, you only could think of that. The
I know
taxi-
I do.
It's actually too cool for a Victoria's Secret commercial. That's how cool the song is.
It
It's like,
definitely
wow,
is.
it's.
I
a little
love
bit
the way a
more-
lot of the music is going to this direction.
Right.
Very
Yeah,
cool.
it all
So-
has like kind of that sound.
And again, they could not hit a better home run by releasing an entire 14 songs as a How to Make It in America mixtape, because all these songs are not only kind of like before they became big, but they're played in the
it has
score.
like an 80s feel to it almost.
A little new
Like in
wave-ish.
Sweet-
But there's
like a
but
16 candles kind of thing.
Yeah, but with a certain there's a streak in it that makes it more 21st century. You
Because
know,
it's got that Euro beat
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
going
Little
on.
electro beats.
And so
Yeah,
at the end of the
somehow.
day,
Yeah.
if you didn't like it before, the sex scene definitely sold it. So that's M83 support.
Nice.
And last thing, we are down to the wire on the episodes. We only have
I know.
one left.
One left?
Two more.
Two more left.
How many episodes were this season?
There was 8. There was 8.
That's not enough.
Well, you're telling me. You're preaching to the choir. I love this show. Yeah.
Okay, good. Because I was hyperventilating when I thought it was only one. So 2 more. Okay,
Yeah.
so we're good. And so we want to make sure that we have a 3rd season. So
Yes,
we need
we
everybody
do.
to get on
Yes.
IMDb and start getting that chat room and putting it out there that they want to see it return, HBO.com, so that we can, just pound in there How to Make It in America.
Well, I think what's so important is, we should know it because we're doing AfterBuzzTV.com. We're understanding the aspects of social media. if you guys want anything to happen, you really do need to.
You gotta make it
take
happen.
yourself. Yeah, take yourself. Make it happen.
voice.
But take yourself away from iTunes for a second and Ustream, and
Unless you're listening to AfterBuzz.
well, while you're already there.
Yeah.
But also open up another window. I should say it like that. Open up another window and go on these message boards and start talking. And while you're talking, you can talk about this show
I say
too.
we pick it. Let's go protest.
Yeah, everybody.
HBO,
this
like,
is a show that would
Occupy HBO.
Third season.
It would,
Third
be,
season.
it would be a shame for the show not to make a third season when Entourage had, what, 7, 8, and maybe a movie, you know?
Yeah, you know the thing is, this show is picking up steam, you know, and the
Who
reviews
talked
are getting
about,
better.
we worked in the same office. Who talked about this before anybody? I was like so
Who was
into
that guy?
the
Hold on,
show.
it was this guy. He used to talk all the time. He would go off on
something.
Oh, it was you,
I've
Ronnie.
annoyed people with my passion of this show, but it's so good. Anyways,
You don't annoy anyone.
I don't know about that. Real quick, let's do a profile. We like to do cast and crew profiles.
Nicole La Liberty.
Yeah.
Am I saying
Liberty.
it right?
We mentioned her because last week when we had Jason Olive in
Jason
here,
Olive
he worked with her.
did Kaboom with her.
Yeah.
They were in the same film with one another. And so he had mentioned that he totally recognized her and remembered her from the film. And he's so
very
happy to see her
recognizable.
now being on How to Make It in America and having a a spotlight role. She's originally from New York, so that's dope that now she gets to participate and be back in her city on a New York show.
beautiful.
And she actually, what most people don't know, graduated from a ballet school.
Okay.
And also
Artsy
has
girl.
been and she's also a model.
Yeah.
Well,
She's-
that's hard to believe that she's a model.
Hot.
Yeah, no, she's definitely cute.
Very
I think she's an LA girl now, so we'll reach out and try to find
we're
her and
definitely
get her.
gonna try to find
I
her.
would love.
She's hard to miss with that fire red
Ginger.
ginger.
Yeah, she's a redheaded woman. She's a ginger. Save the
The
gingers.
gingers are taking
I-
over
It's like a signature color, though. I mean, she stands out. You can't miss her in the crowd.
It's that sexy recessive gene.
She's one of those cast members that I'm dying to see an interview
I
on.
want to see what they're going to do
hilarious.
with her character, though. I want to see where it's going to go because they haven't given us too
Oh,
much of her.
time out! Wait! This is an exclusive. I spent. Listen.
AfterBuzz TV exclusive.
Yes!
I-
Thank you, DJ
I
Jesse.
scoured the
I know
internet.
you did.
I scoured the internet trying to find
Oh.
all the great news. And
is
it came to me.
That's great news.
That this was we have a
Doppelganger.
celebrity doppelganger.
Yeah,
and
buddy.
this is Cheetah Girl Adrienne Bailon, who last week took a similar look as our own.
No,
spicy
honestly,
Marty.
I think I was in New York a while ago. Like, I've known Maddie for a long time. And I saw her and I thought she was you. And I literally was like,
Nice.
I was like, oh my God, what is she? And it really took me a minute to realize that it wasn't you.
Thanks, guys.
That's
I thought
how
this
much
was
you
going
guys
to be
look alike.
the first day that I didn't hear a comparison to her, and I can't come to work without
Sorry.
still getting the comparison.
You know what?
I just think it
She's
looks.
beautiful.
We've heard it, but to see it, I was.
That's
She-
it.
I-
Right
I
there.
love
I'll tell you
her.
what, she comes off a lot spicier.
Oh, yeah.
She's
Oh,
a
yeah.
lot spicier, so
Well,
you know.
thank you. That makes me love you all the more.
Oh, good. Good. I'm working into her
No,
favor.
she's dope. Adrienne's definitely dope. I give her mad props. That's a compliment. Thank
yeah.
you.
And you used to have that color hair.
I
too.
did. I was that blonde at one point.
Yeah, that's just so
Interesting.
funny.
I changed it so that I wouldn't get compared to her. Thanks.
Real
No,
quick,
just
let's
playing.
do some Twitter news. Jesse F. Daniels.
Yeah,
with the
you know,
Twitter news.
we love Lake Bell and we love her tweets.
She's
Recently,
funny.
she had a little
Love
funny
it.
one.
Adorable.
Go CQNY and at Every Mom Counts, passing 11-mile mark in Williamsburg, talking about the hashtag NYC Marathon. I'm going to go eat a muffin. Right?
Just
I
funny
mean,
girl,
why
right?
not?
Funny.
Why not? That's cool.
That was referring to the New York City Marathon this morning,
Marathon.
which, by the way, motivated me because I was being very lazy lately. But I wrote a tweet, and it made me get on my A game, and I had to run 6 miles today because I said,
Go.
Wait, 6 miles?
yeah. I used to do
you
it
didn't
all the
run
time.
like 2 or 3, and then you just added on the other because 6 miles is a long way.
I
man.
used to do it all the
Dang.
time. I used
He
to do it
does
all the
it.
time when I went from like being heavy to being in shape, and then lately I just been working so darn much.
Well, you
and-
look great.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
you
my
look
point is, it's motivation. You know what I mean? I saw everyone tweeting out New York City Marathon. I was like, okay, I'm gonna tweet it, and then I kind of got lazy, but I already wrote it in the thing, so I
You
had
should
to
have
go
told
do
us.
it.
We would have ran behind you. It would have been a marathon out here in LA.
Yeah, we'll do it.
Little
We'll do our
AfterBuzz
own.
Marathon.
Yeah.
You gotta live by your tweets, right?
Yeah, you
right?
have
If you
to.
tweet it,
That's
you
what
gotta
I'm
fulfill
saying.
it.
You tweet it,
Yeah,
you do it.
Definitely. I didn't even know she had a tweeter.
Twitter handle.
Oh, she has a tweeter,
Yeah,
believe
that's
me.
tweeter.
She has a
couple-
beautiful
she has a
tweeter
couple
from what I
tweeters.
understand.
Jesse, what's up with Gina
Oh
Gershon?
my goodness, Gina Gershon. Well, she doesn't tweet that much. That's probably why you didn't know that she had a Twitter handle. But
Is
she-
it Gershon or Gershon?
I think it's Gershon.
Okay, Gershon. No, Gershon sounds more
Maybe
sophisticated. We'll go
Gershon.
with that.
Yeah, I'll say Gershon. And she did tweet at Halloween time, and she said, if cats were to have a costume party, would they dress up as sexy humans?
Funny, right?
Boom.
I love
Comedian?
those.
What did you think?
Yeah, or they could dress up as dogs.
Fallon was a sexy cat for. Oh, and you were
I was a
too.
cat.
You were a cat?
Oh, so was Humberto.
I was a cheetah.
I wasn't wearing a costume.
Oh my goodness. Well, right now we're looking at the picture of Domingo, aka Kid Cudi, and the How to Make It in America fan page is changing the profile pictures.
I think they're going to do it every week. Actually.
Yeah, I think every week, and they're having people vote which is their favorite. So go on there and vote for your favorite character. You might see us voting. I already voted for.
Who would you vote for, Marty?
Ben.
For my favorite character?
Yeah,
Cam.
Yeah.
I love a man that hustles. That's like sexy. Oh my god.
Well, Ben's hustling too.
Yeah, Ben is hustling.
Not the spicy way.
Ginger beard.
Ben's skating on by.
He's skating on by.
Okay, cool. We have one last. I think. Oh, this is what HBO's been doing every single week. Is on the rerun shows, they'll have one of their cast members tweet live. So I guess Lake Bell was the last one to do this.
Yeah, she said.
Yes.
She's a good Twitterer.
Yeah, no, she's funny.
She's a funny girl.
And all the guys on the show think she's a good Twitterer, too.
Out with a bang. Thank you, Brian Greenberg and Real Gina Gershon. And
then, that was one of her tweets,
also, Dear Bushwick, I am sorry for the 4 a.m. noise pollution. P.S. I was punished significantly as it was 40 degrees. It really is getting cold now, though.
Yeah, not only that, I love that tweet because I, there's the 9 to 5 mentality. I always kind of want to work projects like that where you're 4 a.m. in the morning, you're shooting, it's freezing cold. Great, it's a great storytelling thing. And she was able to tweet saying, oh, this awesome scene that you just saw on How to Make It America, it wasn't all it was really cracked up to be. I thought that was cool. She tweeted one more.
Nicole, a libertine fell asleep standing up, eyes open when we shot this scene at 3.
Your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Okay, what's going to happen next episode, Humberto Guida?
What do I think is going to happen? Well, the Nancy and Ben thing will get complicated, and Yosi, is it Yosi?
Yosi.
As dumb as he seems, is going to start getting wind, and we saw some of the previews, right? So he's going to start trying to scam these boys out of their line, and we'll see how they react.
Okay. I think it was interesting in the preview. She says, "You didn't think this was just going to be for free, or wait, what was it? You weren't going to pay. You weren't going to get all this without paying the price." She said something along those lines, and I'm very interested to see what that conversation's about.
What that price
Who
is?
said that?
This was Nancy.
Oh, I missed that part.
Oh yeah. In the preview, she's talking about paying a price. Like you didn't think something about her being a gatekeeper in this business. So I want to know what that conversation's about. That's where I'm going to be tuned in.
And what the price is. And
what the price is. I mean, is she going to grab all this opportunity, remove it from him? You're gonna have sex with me, or else
when things get complicated, everybody wins and everybody loses.
Very okay. Yeah. Lauren, what do you think about next episode?
I honestly want to see what's gonna happen between Yosi and Ben. I hope that in the next episode that Yosi finds out about what's going on.
Oh, you want him to find out already?
I want to see what's going to happen with that. I don't know. I don't really have a big prediction of it, but I want to see how it all plays out.
Will he fly off the handle? Is he crazy enough?
Think of how he was when he was drunk. I felt like he was going to kiss Cam. He was so, it was just I want to see how his character plays out.
Yeah, I think he might lose it if he finds out because we think, you're no threat. I think he's...
So all season we're thinking, Renee's going to be the one that just goes, but maybe it's Yosi.
I think he's going to snatch the opportunity.
Lives all the time is that there's somebody who...
Have we lost your mic?
I think, Jesse, we lost you.
You're going to have to whisper into Fallon's.
Anyways, I think that we see this all the time where, there's that one person who really wants to see you succeed.
Right.
And then there's those...
Hey!
Hi, Mom. Anyways, and then there's those other people that want to bring you down, and we see him as that person who he says, I want to see you guys do good, but is he really?
I think Nancy's part of the haterism.
Well, she's married to a guy that seems like he'll be your friend if he can get something from you, but if you stand in his way, he'll step on your head.
Yeah, that's probably why he's been that successful. What's going to happen with Capo, you guys? Is he done? Are we never going to see him? And he said, don't forget about me.
That's so sweet.
Was that like a foreshadow? He'll never be back.
Well, he was
I hope not. No, maybe he got booked on a movie. He's like, hey, guys, you got to write me out of the show.
Eddie K. Thomas, he's on American Pie.
The reunion.
He's still on the cast?
It's the reunion.
All of them are.
They came back after their 10-year
Again? Oh, gosh.
It should be coming out soon.
I'm going to watch it, though, because I was an American Pie fan.
Maybe that's what happened behind the scenes. He's like, hey, guys, I got to do a movie. It pays more than the show. Can you write me out by halfway? And then I'll come back next year.
It does happen. I wonder if it happened with Martha Plimpton has got a big show now. It's called Raising Hope. And she's very funny. She's good on her regular, network show, which is called Raising Hope on Fox, but you can't be that edgy. But boy, she was funny as Rachel's boss on season. Martha Plimpton,
did love her
with the boob comment right off the bat.
Yeah, they took her out. Yeah.
Maybe of a third season, she could go back to working with
Well, here's some. I'm starting to study the way that networks, promote on their websites, and I noticed that she's still on the cast list, the main cast list on HBO, along with some new people, Martha Plimpton, along with the new people from season 2. So maybe she'll be back before season's end, but she'll definitely be back by season 3.
That's an educated
She's still
prediction.
on the cast list
Why?
of HBO. Well, because they still want.
Because she's a name now. Yeah. I did notice that once when one of the, I think it was TBS, they were talking about Sister Act, and Jennifer Love Hewitt wasn't anybody when it got filmed, but then she was somebody.
Right, look at
and they're
now.
like,
Right.
Jennifer Love
Look
Hewitt,
at her
yeah,
now.
starring, and so she barely was in the show.
Yeah.
Right.
Anyways, okay, cool, you guys. Thank you so much. I love this show, How to Make It in America. Again, please, everybody, tweet it, Facebook it, and keep watching this great show. We've got 2 episodes left, and just keep rocking with AfterBuzzTV.com. Humberto Guida, thank you.
Thanks for
What's your
having me.
Twitter, real quick?
At Humberto Guida.
Yours, Lauren.
Lauren T loves you.
And Fallon.
At Miss MIS Mercedes.
I'm following her right now.
Okay, your mic still doesn't work.
Right.
Thank you so much.
Bye,
Awesome
guys.
show.
Thank
Bye,
you for
guys.
having us.
And check out NicoleBitchy.com.
Yeah.
For us 3 hosts.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll be on there.
Hi, Nicole.
From producers Kevin Undergaro and Phil Svitek, engineer DJ Jesse Janity, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. If you have questions or comments, be sure to buzz us at info@AfterBuzzTV.com. And you can find us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter by searching for AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.